Hello and welcome to Lakeland Honeybees. I'm going to show you how I'm going to make my new bucket trap. I'm going to use 2 buckets and make it a 10-gallon trap. So what I've done was drilled a hole about this big at the very bottom, so that way if water gets in here it can drain out, and bees like the entrance on the bottom. And I've already got honeybees. Attracted to it. What I did was I took Slum gum, which is when you melt down wax, the wax that doesn't melt down from the brood comb. I stuck in a jar and then covered it with rubbing alcohol. I think it's 80 or 90% rubbing alcohol, and just every day shake it up a little bit and let it sit there for a couple weeks, and it broke down the brood comb. And what I did was I brushed the inside with it, and you can see the wax, and it gives it a nice bee smell. And this one, I had a scrap piece of plywood, so I screwed that to the bottom, and then I took a frame, which if you had frame with comb on it, it would be better, but the only thing I'm not sure of is because of the position I got the comb, if that's gonna work or not, but we're gonna experiment and find out. So I screwed plywood to the bottom. I coated this with the Slum gum, which is basically got wax in it, an old comb. Took a frame and I screwed it to the board there. I've drilled holes in the rim of the bucket. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick a rock in here to give it some weight, so it doesn't move around as much. And I got to line these holes up. Yeah, I got a honeybee right there. I also took the handles off the bucket. We got another honeybee there, so things are looking positive. I'm going to take zip ties, run it through those holes, I'm not going to tighten them down until I get all the holes lined up. Some of the holes I used a soldering iron just to melt a hole, and the others I used a drill bit. I was just trying to see what works best, and they both work. And I was going to put this at the very top, but since I already started, we'll just slide this. This is lemongrass oil in a baggie with a Q-tip. And I think we'll just slide that in there. Just trying to line up the holes. Five-gallon buckets work, but a larger trap is ideal, according to the research the scientists have done. Okay, so we're just going to tighten up the zip ties. And when we catch a swarm, this is how we're going to get into it. We'll just cut the zip ties. I did a couple other modifications. I'll show you. On the top here, I cut ridges ridges here so that when water fills up here, it'll drain out and hopefully won't leak through my screws here. So I've cut 3 little drain ridges. So the only thing I have to do now is attach a rope to this, and I'm going to hang it in an oak tree about 15 feet up with a rope over a branch, so that way I can just raise and lower it with the rope. And I'll keep you updated on how well it works. It's March 10th, 2025, and we are in Central Florida, and this is swarm season. Well, this is the next day. We have a lot of bee activity on my double bucket trap. So 6 days later, I caught a small swarm. So I'm gonna go ahead and lower the bucket down. I'll put tape over the hole and then take it over to the Z yard and put them in a nuke. Well, I got the swarm bucket, the double swarm bucket, and I ended up using a net and put around it. Also had duct tape over the hole, and there's a lot of bees on the outside of the bucket. But you can hear them making noise. They're not happy. I'm gonna go ahead and put them in a nuke box. So I just opened up the swarm bucket. You can see they've made a paddle right there. I'm gonna try to locate the queen and clip her, and then dump the bees into a nuke box. And then there's quite a few bees in here. That's a rock, so they're covering the rock. They ate quite a bit of the wax that I put a coating on the inside of the bucket, so they must have used that to help build their comb. And I'm going to put them in that nuke box. So I've caught the swarm, and this is my double swarm bucket, and I put them in this nuke box, and it looks like about a solid 2 frames of bees, maybe 2.5. I actually haven't located the queen, but might let them settle down and check them in a day or so. I gave them some food, and I'm impressed. 6 days, and I caught a first swarm. And I have, where I caught this swarm, within 100 feet, I have 2 other traps. So they definitely preferred the double bucket. All right, there you go.